You need passion to keep you motivated. You need a team of people that encourage you, right? I had this discussion with a friend recently, and I said, we have girlfriends. We have plenty of girlfriends. But unless you have a friend who is an entrepreneur, that's the only friend that would understand what you're going through.
Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Nurse Boss Shift. It's your girl, Dr. Kiana Jones.
Yes, and I'm Crystal P, the Beauty NP.
Crystal P, the Beauty NP. Hey, it's been a while. We have not recorded in a minute, so we want to go ahead and just let you guys know that we are in the works doing some amazing things for our followers and our listeners. So you guys just be patient with us as we are going through these growing pains. But we are excited today because we have the owner of Natty Nurse. Natty Nurse, is that right? Natty Nurses with an S.
Yes.
Natasha Osei. Is it OC or Osei?
Okay, so it's Osei.
Osei.
It's Osei because it's West African.
Okay.
But as long as you can spell it, I'm good.
Right. Okay, I want to say it right though. Natasha Osei. So we have Natasha Osei. We want to thank you so much for joining us, Natasha. And I want to ask you to just tell us about yourself.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for having me. I mean, this is a big move for me because I'm always hiding behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
But I am the CEO of Natty Nurses. I'm a nurse that started off from the very bottom and started as an EMT.
Okay.
And worked my way through. And then finally, I have my doctorate in nursing.
Yes.
I have 2 businesses. I do have Natty Nurses, which is a brand specifically for nurses.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle brand for nurses. And I also just recently opened a medical spa in New Jersey.
Yes.
So I also have a medical spa called Vanity Arts.
Okay. Yeah. Well, welcome. First of all, we're big on titles, and I'm going to address you as such, Dr. Osei. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. So you have 2 businesses. Are you running them simultaneously, or how
You can't make this up. You really can't make this up. So I started Natty Nurses several years ago. And we rebranded it as of the ending of last year. We decided to rebrand it. And Natty Nurses has always been my baby. It's a lifestyle blog, and it provides nurses with information, like how to sleep when you work during night shift, or just little information to help nurses get through their nursing career. I feel like sometimes it's hard to communicate with people depending on where you work, and sometimes you feel like you're alone in a situation. So this was a way to just provide nurses with information. We also have an e-commerce where we sell like scrub hats, makeup, water bottles. And the idea was to provide nurses with something to get through their 12-hour shift.
Okay.
So that's how we started the e-commerce.
Okay.
And then we recently added a subscription box to Natty Nurses, which I'm really excited about. We started in December. So now our goal is to actually get you the products you need for nursing. So the idea of creating the subscription box was to provide nurses with everything they need except for scrubs and shoes. So it's a bi-monthly box, and throughout the years, we provide you with stethoscopes. We provide you with 1 tool of the trade, 1 stress reliever, and 1 self-care. So we provide skincare products, which are all themed for the month that we land on, since it's bi-monthly. So yeah, this is Natty Nurses. Natty Nurses it's a great brand. I really enjoy putting the effort into Natty Nurses.
I love that. And so because I have some questions about Natty Nurse, but first I want to say, so you are running them simultaneously. So you're an injector.
Yes, sorry. I just went like
That's okay. That's okay.
Yes. So I am running them simultaneously.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I am an injector.
Mhm.
So I do inject. I do Botox. I do fillers, microneedling, IV vitamins.
Let's go.
I do it all. And then I have, of course, Natty Nurses that I'm working on as well.
I love that. Okay, so my question about Natty Nurses, and this is super exciting. The subscription model. I just think
Yes.
about Amazon. For me, like, it's so crazy when I get packages. I don't even know. I don't remember what I ordered. Most likely it was an impulse buy, right? Like, I can't remember,
Yeah,
but I'd be so excited because it's like, I know it's for me. It got my name on it, and I'm looking forward to opening it. So
That's me.
the subscription, what excites me about the subscription idea is that I'm assuming, and because this is from what I understand about subscription boxes, it's something different every time, right? Is it the same?
Yes. So some subscription box are this pretty much kind of like the same every time. Our box is different. For instance, if it lands, it's February that we did February, and then we recently did April.
Okay.
So we did Spring into Nursing Week, right?
Okay.
Nurses Week, Spring into Nurses
Yes.
Week. And so we theme it according to the month and what's going on in that month. And we provide you with a stress reliever. We provide you with a tool of the trade. And then we provide you with skincare products and anything, that lifestyle stuff.
Yes.
So it's different every month. I'm a colorful person.
Yes.
So it's exciting every month.
Yes.
I have like little knickknacks in it, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy Natty Nurses as a brand and a blog. I didn't expect to enjoy the subscription box as much, simply because you have to source out these items. It gets tiring sometimes, but trust me, I love it. I could do this all day.
I can't help but wanting to connect you and Crystal. And let me tell you why. Because Crystal has a lotion. Crystal, I'll let you tell about because all I'm thinking about is Crystal needs to be in one of these boxes sometime or other. Go ahead.
She surely does. She surely does.
Tell her about
Crystal. Doesn't matter what it is. We will find a month and we will theme it up.
Crystal, please tell her about
I created a lotion for nurses. It's amazing when you try it. And then with your 12-hour, and then I also have a 16-hour foot soak because nurses, and I created this in the vein of self-care and nurses. So I have different self-care products. This is my big too. So I would love to
self-care. Love it. This is good. Definitely, Crystal. So for the month of February, we were really heavy on self-care. So I'm actually really glad that you said that, because I feel like nurses do not spend time pampering themselves. We do doubles, we do triples, we work 5 days a week, some work 7 days a week. And healthcare wise, we don't take care of ourselves, and we definitely don't pamper ourselves. Or if we do, we feel like, oh, it's materialistic things that are considered pampering ourselves versus actually health and wellness, right?
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that you're actually taking time to make products for nurses, because the people that develop the products for nurses are definitely not nurses, and they don't know what we need.
Yeah, that's exactly how I had to send multiple samples. I'm like, this lotion is targeted to nurses, but it's so greasy you can't even put your hands in your gloves after. This lotion supposedly does that, but it doesn't feel like this. So I took it real serious in creating this lotion.
Very nice, very nice.
And it's sad.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And it's unfortunate though that a lot of us aren't. We are in such a unique position that is really one that we could take advantage of if we got out of our own way, right? Because no one understands us like us. I'm sorry. People can think, doctors and other healthcare professionals, nurses are just we're a unique group. And these other people are other organizations that I see out there, social media organizations. Some of the top blog sites are not even owned by nurses. They hire the nurses because nurses do not have the foresight to know that we can do this. So we'll say, oh, I got a great job working for X, top nursing blog site, instead of I own it. Like, why do we? And then they're kind of tapping into our knowledge and our expertise and experience and making money off of it and paying us what they want us to make. That is so hard to watch, you know? If I was interested, I don't care for that, but I know there are people who do, nurses who do. They just don't know how to tap into it. So I love that with your Natty Nurses, you're doing it. My next question would be, why? Like, what made you, how did this come about?
It's very just okay. So I started Natty Nurses simply because when I started working as a RN, I don't remember really noticing it as LPN, but yet again, I was a Beata nurse and I did home care visits for pediatrics. So I didn't really interact with other nurses. But when I became an RN, the world changed. It seemed like there was something wrong with me. I would get hired into facilities and the managers would like not really particularly like me. But I didn't even really speak, right? I didn't really speak to anyone. I was really quiet into myself. I would get coworkers that would sit there and say like things that were like off the wall. And I said to myself, like, what am I doing wrong? I've even had a manager say, for someone to tell me to take off my sweater. Who is she? Tell her to take off her sweater. And I'm like, what is this? And I began to realize that it seemed as if they wanted to diminish who I was or diminish my presence or diminish my light. So I started Natty Nurses as a brand for people to be their unique self, right? Be your unique self. As long as you're performing your duties, as long as you're providing accurate, compassionate care, as long as you're competent, it shouldn't matter who or what color you are or how you look or because the patients they're not perfect people, right? The patients, we have a variety of patients.
Right.
And we connect to them with them in different ways.
Right.
So why should you fit a uniform description in order to provide some care to an individual? Why do you have to look a certain way in order to be passionate about what you do? It just didn't really add up. And I kind of felt like I wouldn't even have anything crazy on. I would have my little bag, my uniform, and that's it. But I kind of felt like everyone had a problem with me. And then later on, as years went by, they would say things like, "Oh, I thought you were snobbish, but you're so cool. I thought you were this, but you're so nice." I thought, and it was like, okay, so you just judged me, never had a conversation with me. And I actually tried to fit in, like, okay, like fit in. I was doing things that I wouldn't do usually, and it wasn't me. So when I created Natty Nurses, the goal was to show nurses that as long as you're providing that competent, compassionate care, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how you look, especially for us minorities. It's like, we're nurses too. The door is not open wide enough for us. So when you do walk through the door, it's like, how did she get in here?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of feeling I was getting.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that it was made up in my head, but I had other people that would say to me, "Oh my God, she said this. Why?" Like, or he said that. Why? And so I know it wasn't made up. Like I really, really endured all this judgment based on people not even taking the opportunity to get to know who I was. So Natty Nurses was a brand and to promote being your unique self. Just be your unique self. If you don't fit in, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
And
Just
so
be your unique self.
And so how do you deliver that mission and vision through those products? How do you feel like you deliver those through that?
So we put in funky stuff, right? We have funky products. We have products that are creative. We have products that are colorful, just like as I am, right? We have products that suit, like for instance, we have book bags that you can put your shoes underneath it and it looks like a gym bag, but it's actually a bag for work. We have different products that are unique, right? As unique as I feel I am and how I feel other nurses I met are and how I feel Black women are. I feel like we're unique.
Yes.
I feel like there's something about us There's something
I love it.
about us, you know,
Yeah.
that is just different.
Yeah.
So the products I source were all to fit my people and how
Yes.
they feel about themselves, right?
Yes. Love it. Chris?
No, that's dope. Just listening to, so always so interesting to hear the backstory behind
Yeah.
a brand meaning. And I truly love that, giving nurses the okay, that it's okay to be different and to show up on that unit.
Yeah.
Having something where that that's in a subscription box, so it's going to lots of other nurses, and just having that bond to know that you can still show up and do your job no matter who you are, as long as, like you said, you're providing service. So what does it matter, the color of your skin or anything like that? So
it really doesn't matter as long as you're providing care, right? As long as you're doing your duties. What should it matter, right? It shouldn't matter that my braids are like down to my butt. It shouldn't matter. Right? It shouldn't matter.
Sure.
Right?
Well,
so that's what it is about.
I love that so much. And I'm sure like I've always been intrigued by subscription boxes anyway, by the way. I just didn't quite understand them, but I could think about me just getting that box and like excited to open it and like what's in it, and it's something that's unique to me as a nurse, right? That I would love. But I want to veer into the business side of Natty Nurses and talk about
let's go.
Yeah, I want to talk about, because here's the
long
thing.
journey.
Yeah, we're of course our followers are nurses. Most of them are still working, but is this something that could be sustainable to like possibly go per diem or even quit to a full-time entrepreneur? I love the drop shipping, by the way. I always try to think about how can I get paid and do as less work as possible. I want to buy my time back. I want to spend time at home with my kids, my family. I want to chill. And I don't want to retire by the time we're of age, it'll be 75 basically, because we're living longer. So they're pushing up the retirement age. So I love the drop shipping. Like they order it, you get paid, you've created, you just pick out the things that's going to be in the box. And hey, I'm going to do my marketing. I'm going to do whatever the part that I do. So my question to you, is this something that people could actually do and possibly quit?
Yes. I do believe that people can do it and people can quit. When I started Natty Nurses, I was caught in between. I didn't want to just make it about one individual, right? Like, who am I selling it to? So I had a lot of conflict on trying to get exactly who I'm selling it to. It came to a point that I was just like, I can't do this no more. I'm like slowing down with the blog. I'm slowing down with everything I'm doing. But recently, my husband had a discussion with me. He's like, you've had this brand for so long, it's like you're holding on to it by the thread. So either you really need to put your energy in it or like figure out what you're doing with it. Because I had followers, but it just seemed like I wasn't putting in effort anymore because, as you said, it gets exhausting. And for the blog portion, I'm not a social media person. It's very difficult, extremely difficult. This is like the first time I've actually put myself out there with this podcast.
I love it.
And I have to, because I'm not going to say I had to, but I have to learn how to put myself out there, right? How to connect with more people so they understand. And I feel like unless you're connecting with people and you're actually showing them who you are authentically, it's really difficult to sustain a brand. Like, unless I'm like a Fortune 500 company where I don't need my face, right?
Yes.
So these are the things that I've learned and I'm still learning on how to incorporate. It came to a point when I started and up until like, I want to say the pandemic, I would go to nursing homes and hospitals and sell Natty Nurses products. I would set up a table in the lobby. I would call the people that be and see if I can set up. And that's how I promoted my brand. So now I realize, like, post-COVID, social media influence is really, really at an all-time high.
Mhm.
So I really do have to change the direction.
Yeah.
But it is sustainable,
Yeah.
trust me, because
Yeah.
I've done it for so long. It is
Yes.
sustainable.
Yes. And so, okay, so let's say someone is interested in starting a subscription box business. I love it because, again, it's drop shipping. So you don't go to the post office and drop off boxes, do you? Or how?
So I do.
Okay. So how do you get the?
So the reason why I did that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's fine. You go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to have a personal touch.
Okay.
I wanted to have a personal touch to it. I wanted to write little notes in every box. I wanted so people to know that there's a real individual behind this that's sourcing the product.
Okay.
A lot of the products, I want to say 90% of the products are sourced in the US.
That's
the skincare
awesome.
products are vegan and organic.
I love it.
So I wanted people to know that it's not just some regular box that I have people putting together. No, it's a team. We sit down, we discuss what the month is and what things to include in the box, and we package it up.
Okay. Now, then my next question is, are you going to scale that? Does a plan to scale, or do you want to keep it at a small, because I know that you only got 24 hours in a day, just like me.
Yeah.
And based on my business background, I know that in order to scale it, I know there's going to have to be some type of automation or, other moving parts to help you grow it. Is your plan to scale it? And if so, how many people are you looking to have on your subscription, or is it unlimited? I mean, I hope it's unlimited.
If I can get to unlimited, let's get to unlimited, right? I feel like the beginning phases, I have to include myself in this box. I have to personalize it.
Agreed.
So that when I do scale it, they do understand that there's still somebody behind it.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Oh,
a lot of brands start and there's no personal touch, right? And then you feel no connection. And that's the issue I had with Natty Nurses. Like the only connection I had were the people that were ordering my stuff because they had met me outside, right? People that were being loyal to me because they had met me outside and had conversations with me, and because they contacted me about something and they had open communication with me. But I feel like in order to scale your business, you really have to still be in touch with people.
Yeah.
Right? You still have to have that personal touch to everything you do. Because the brand, as I said, is for nurses.
Yes.
And it's promoting people to be their unique self. The subscription box is promoting people to actually take care of themselves, mental health, take care of their mental health.
Yes.
That's like a priority. So in order to do that, I really feel like I have to really have a connection with the people I'm selling to.
Yes. And I totally agree, especially for small businesses. We are our brand. And I know there are some companies out there like you should be able, but we're not able to do that right now. Most likely our avatar is going to be the group to which we belong, whether it's a mom group, a nurse group, a wife group, whatever it is that we are a part of, we'll usually market to those people because we know them. Right.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, if a nurse is thinking about, this might be something I might be interested in. What would be a general, you don't have to give us yours, but like an ROI on a subscription to call it prescription box on a subscription box. Like if they wanted to start a company like this, is this a huge investment? What's the money like in this?
So what I did initially was I created a wait list.
Okay.
And the wait list determined how many boxes I made.
Okay.
And then moving forward, once I hit a certain amount of boxes, that was it. You'd have to wait for the following month. And so far we started in December, and so far now we have a wait list and we have the amount of boxes that we're going to create every month. Now when people join in, we expand as people come in. So I don't really waste too much money.
Okay.
You understand? I don't really waste, there's not too much of a waste. If anything, the waste was initially, I put a lot of effort into the box and we had to sit down and have a candid conversation and be like, listen, your profit margin is really small because you're trying to make this box so great.
Mm-hmm.
And now, not only is your profit margin small, but the box is so heavy.
Mm-hmm. Now you're paying
Shipping
more
is
for
eating the profit.
Uh-huh.
So we had to like circle back. And of course, that's going to happen throughout the whole process because it is new to us. But that's how I started it. I'm not sure, you know, other people start their subscription box differently, but I started it. Sometimes
I
for
like that
instance, we
idea.
lose people and we gain people.
Yeah.
So if I have 50 boxes or 100 boxes, although we're losing, we're gaining people. So it kind of balances out.
Yeah. No, I am such a big fan of starting small and scaling. Like, I think we make, because oftentimes, and this is not just nurses, this is any new entrepreneur, one of the novice mistakes we make, I made, I'm sure Crystal made, I'm sure you may have made in the beginning, is trying to decide for the marketplace instead of letting them decide for us, and then we deliver what they need. Right? Commonly, we go by how we feel, our gut, what we like. It's not about you, because you want people. This is a business. You want to make some money. So you better give them what they want and not what you want them to want.
And definitely, that's how I started Natty Nurses.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with that. Like, no, girl.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead, Chris.
How do you go about sourcing your products? Is it like a negotiation that you have with the supplier, or are you reaching out to, you know, different cool items that you see that would go good in your box? How do you go about that process of sourcing?
Yeah, so I don't really stay with one supplier simply because every bi-monthly, the box provides something new, right? So it's hard to stay with one supplier. But what I do is I go through a lot of, I'm on social media, I do like internet searching and stuff like that. I see what nurses need. And of course, I keep my foot in the door. So I see what nurses are doing and what they're carrying and what they like. And then I have a team of women that help me put the boxes together, and they're all nurses and their age varies. So we look at what we're theming the box for that month. And like, for instance, we had a planner in one of the months, and that's to carry you for the year. So we looked at the planner. What kind of planner is this? Is this a good planner? The planner is starting in February. This is January. This is people start in January, and this is February. What kind of planner do we want to provide? Okay, let's go with an undated planner. So we do things like that. Like we find different products. We know we're not starting in September for a planner. We know it's February. We're not going to give you a planner that you can only use for 3 months. And we put a lot of thought process into it. So we source throughout. Like, we've gone on Etsy before. We found people on Etsy that created like bath bombs and vegan soap, and we've negotiated with them. Like, listen, we have a subscription box. It's going to benefit you as well as us, right? We're putting your name out there, and we would like to buy this amount of products. What would be the deal that you would give us? And we've had people say, you know, no, because they obviously don't need our money. And we've had people that are like just so gracious,
for sure,
and willing to supply us with. So it fluctuates. So once we start buying like expensive things, like for instance, we had a facial roller that was a little bit pricey. It vibrated, a vibrated jade facial roller. So now we have to make sure that the other products we source fits within the budget. So it's kind of like a balancing act.
Okay, I see. I love that you are doing it every other month too, because that gives you that time to get ready for the up, instead of, because 30 days comes so quickly. And so giving yourself that cushion too gives you the time, especially if you're dealing with suppliers and like things can happen, you know.
Things do happen. Things do
can
happen.
imagine.
I had the supplier tell us that they didn't have enough of I think it was like an oatmeal bath. They didn't have, so now we had to replace it. And we had already promoted that there was going to be an oatmeal bath. So now we had to find a vegan, right? We had to find a vegan and organic oatmeal bath for people. It was like, So stuff happens, and
Yeah.
this, as I said, this is the beginning phase. So of course, sometimes you overspend a little bit, but we're still working out the kinks, and we all love what we're doing. So
I love
it's a
it.
great feeling.
I love it. Well, Dr. Osei, I want to give you an opportunity we're going to ask you about your business, of course, but I want to know, we believe that being an entrepreneur, first of all, just requires a heavy shift in mindset, but also for nurses to be entrepreneurs is an even heavier shift. What would be 3 things you would recommend to our followers to help them kind of begin the journey, or even for those who may be on the journey that may have helped you as you are going through? Like we're fumbling. I truly believe we're fumbling our way through. Like every new entrepreneur that didn't have if you don't have a lot of like a foundation, like I didn't have a foundation, or a lot of people to help you, or money everywhere, then we just figuring it out as we go, right? And I think that alone takes a lot of courage. But I want to ask you, what would be 3 things that you could be books, it could be an action step to take that you would recommend for nurses when it comes to entrepreneurship, either thinking about entrepreneurship or those who are in the beginning stages?
Yeah. Let's see. I would say I would advise anyone to be like passionate, because when you hit those lows, boy, when you hit those lows,
Oof.
and you need passion to keep you motivated.
Yeah.
You need a team of people that encourage you,
Yeah.
right? I had this discussion with a friend recently, and I said, we have girlfriends. We have plenty of girlfriends. But unless you have a friend who is an entrepreneur, that's the only friend that would understand what you're going through. A friend would tell you, if you don't like what you're doing, just stop. Like, no. Like, I'm passionate about this.
They're like,
it.
you're a
Or
nurse.
if you're tired,
You're a nurse.
like,
what are you tripping about? Just go back.
what are you
work.
doing? Your benefits. What about your benefits?
Yes.
Right?
that's a big
Oh,
one.
what about your paid time off? Right? What about your paid time off? Like, you really need an entrepreneur friend who is just as passionate as you are, that will support you, because you do need someone to tell you to get up and keep it moving. You didn't post today, why not? Keep going.
Yes.
So
Oh my
that would be
gosh.
number 2. So passion, having a friend that's an entrepreneur that is supportive, because not all friends that are entrepreneurs are supportive. Sometimes they secretly hate what you're doing, and they don't right? Like how many times have you met someone that you thought was a mentor, right? And then as soon as you got to that little plateau, they start changing on you, and you're like, and you have so much love for them. You would never step on them, but they no longer see you the same. So so you really do need supportive people around you that can understand what you're going through. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like, you can't make this up. I can't even tell you. I listen to Rachel Rogers. Right? I
Hello,
listen
7.
to Hello 7. I listen to what is it? Subscription Boss, or whatever they're called. Subscription Boss. Product Boss. I listen to so many podcasts. And I even listen to copy bloggers, which is absolutely crazy, right? Because I want to have everybody's perspective of marketing, how to push your product, what worked for them. And sometimes they have interviews and they speak to people and they tell, like, I lost my car. They repossessed my car, but I kept going. These are the things that you need, right? You need to know that the mistakes you're making has happened before. And it's not that you're not made for business. It just so happens that this is just a step in business. Or, and with business, you don't lose until you quit.
For sure.
Right? No matter what you lose, you're not at a loss until you stop. And once you stop working on what you're passionate about, that's when you're ultimately at a loss. So I listen to a lot of podcasts that keep me motivated.
Love that. Those are some good ones. So that's having the passion for the business, definitely having an accountability partner or a friend who's in the business, It doesn't even have to be that business, but just like because of the mindset part that they'll have, and then also listening to podcasts. And I agree. Listening to podcasts, you get so much free game on honestly, I don't listen to the radio at all. It's either a podcast, YouTube, or audiobook. That's it. When I'm driving.
Audiobook.
That's it.
My kids are over it. They're like, are we gonna listen to her again?
Yep.
And I'm like, you're gonna thank me one day.
Yeah, they sure will. They sure will. They sure will. Well, Dr. Crystal, do you have any closing words before we I want Dr. Osei to tell us about her business, or I'll let her tell us about her business and then you give us some closing words. Dr. Osei, please tell us. We didn't even get to the med spa, but we'll have to bring you back because we do want to talk about the med spa because, you know, Crystal and I both own med spas. So we would love to do a girlfriends talk about that.
Yes, we do.
So let's plan to do it.
The med spa is a different ball.
It sure is. Right? And I was thinking, I was like, do we want, it's going to be too much. So we'll get you back to talk about the med spa and how you end up, because that is totally like, wait, one is over here and one is over here.
Yes, it is.
So
it definitely is.
We'll get you back on to talk about that. But please tell everyone how they can reach you. Everyone listening to this podcast, you guys, you definitely should get a subscription box because you deserve self-care first. But secondly, I'm always supporting fellow nurse entrepreneurs. I just believe it's so important for us to help each other. But especially when you have something that you actually like. So that makes it a lot more easier. So tell everyone how we can reach you and what your offer is.
Okay. So you can reach me at it's at Natty Nurses on IG. And it's www.nattynurses.com. That's our website. You can DM me on IG. You can also reach me at Natasha Osei at AOL.com, of course. I do give advice. I have people call in sometimes and they're like, hey, you know, this is my business. What do you think? Or I do give advice. I give as much as I can give. I give jewels that I have.
Okay. So
definitely check me out on Natty Nurses, and on Facebook it's Natty Nurses too.
Okay, awesome. And then what about this? Tell us about the box. We need everybody to get the box.
Yeah. So if you go to www.nattynurses.com, the subscription box is on our product list. It's also on the front page. So you just click it. It's bi-monthly.
Okay.
It's $99.
Thank you.
It's all sourced from the US. It's 5 to 8 products every other month.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it always a surprise, or do they know?
It's always.
Oh
no. So no. Let me go backtrack.
Okay.
The products are online, so you can see what you're getting.
Okay.
You can read about it.
Okay.
But we have a surprise product in the box.
Oh, got it. I love surprises. So it's like they know, but then there's a surprise that's thrown in.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, that's dope.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming today. It was inspiring to hear your story because we're kind of on the same track, starting in products business. And you kind of have that pre-COVID, because that was my whole thing. Like, I'm gonna go out and sell to these nurses in person because I'm better like that. And then COVID hit, and I was like, I gotta sell online, talking to myself with a camera.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you got to see that success of doing it in person and then now working through the online thing. Cause I think that's a challenge for a lot of us, but I'm sure like you, the products business has taught you so much about the med spa business. So I'm sure you know that if I want this thing to blow up, I have to get in front of people and step outside the box.
I know, I'm working on it.
Well, you're doing it. You're here. You're here. So
I know,
listen.
This is my big step. I was really excited.
We appreciate being your first.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. We appreciate you being choosing us to be your first with getting yourself out there. So everyone go and subscribe to this box. And you might see some surprise products in there soon.
Yay. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Osei. We appreciate you. And we're going to get you back. We're going to get you back to talk about med spas. All right. Take care.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.